welcome to another episode of Joe Sent Me. My name is Joe. Thanks for tuning in. You are about to watch another review video from Commodity Fragrance. I'd like to thank Commodity Fragrance for sending me these to try out. Right now, we are going to be trying out the fragrance wardrobe from the black collection. As I did in the white collection, I wanted to let you know just my thoughts on all 5 of these fragrances that were included in the box. Just like I did with the white collection, each day, Monday through Friday, I wore a new fragrance, starting at the top, working my way down. So starting with Monday, I wore Book. Book is probably the most interesting fragrance of all 5 in this collection. It was very interesting because it mentions that it has cucumber in it, and you really don't smell the cucumber until kind of the dry down. What it smelled like on the initial spray, it reminded me of pencil shavings when you sharpen a pencil. So that's a pretty funky smell for me to start with. However, it did warm up and it got nicer as it dried down. Not my favorite personally, but who knows? Like I said before, there's a fragrance for everyone, and this may be the right one for you, but it may not be the right one for me. Tuesday, I tried Moss. Just like the name implies, Moss is an earthy, it is a kind of a green smell, and it does start off similarly to all the fragrances that are part of this collection with a fresh note. So you get the bergamot to start with, and then it goes into the more greener, grassier, I guess if you want to call it mossier smells. Then it warms up with a little bit of amber. This is a pretty good one. Again, it's not my favorite, but it is a pretty good one. On Wednesday, I wore Whisky. Now, Whisky is an interesting one because the first thing you think of when you think of whiskey is booze. So you would think that there's boozy notes that are in it. And it does warm up like a boozy fragrance would, but there is actually no booze in this fragrance whatsoever. There are components in it that maybe give the effect that there's booze when combined, but there's actually no booze. Just like the other fragrances, it does open up with bergamot and lemon, and then it gets a little herbal as you get into the sage and the ivy notes. And then on the dry down, you get the amber, you get the cinnamon spice, so you get a little bit of spice with that, and you get the musk. And then for the rest of the time, the fragrance does stay warm, just like Whisky would. Whisky was one of my favorites. It's in my top 3. The top one that I liked is actually Gin, which is the one I wore on Thursday. Gin is a very fresh fragrance. I normally gravitate towards heavier, warmer, spicier things, more oriental things. But Gin reminded me of a more sophisticated version of Acqua di Gio. I think that Gin is a wonderful one for the summer, for spring. It's a great office fragrance. It is a compliment getter for sure, and I highly recommend checking out Gin. And last but not least, on Friday, I wore Wool. Now, the first thing that you think about when you think of wool is you think of sheep, possibly, which is where wool is, where you get it from. You don't smell like sheep. This thing doesn't smell like sheep at all. That's not what they were going for. I think what they were going for is for a fragrance that warms up and keeps you warm like wool. And this one does it at the end, but at the very beginning, there's a lot of citrus notes. And here's what's very interesting about it. When you go and read the ingredients, and I will include those, by the way, down below in the notes, when you go to read the ingredients, you're going to realize that there's a lot of vitamin C, there's a lot of citrus in this. And it doesn't feel like you're getting shocked with the citrus like you would normally would with some things that are very high in concentration of the citrus. The citrus is in there, but it's subtle, and it gives it a good pop to the fragrance when you first put it on. But then it warms down as you get into the vanilla and the bourbon, and that's where the wool comes in, because that warmth that you get from vanilla and bourbon is where you want that to be, and it dries down really nice. And this is definitely on my top 3. So there you have it, all 5 fragrances here, and stay tuned next week because I'm going to be doing the final collection, which is the Platinum collection. Make sure to stay tuned to this channel. Don't forget to hit the notify button above. Subscribe to this channel if you like it. Please feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to meet more fragrance lovers like yourself. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. Thanks and have a great day. Bye-bye.